today I want to talk about the power of poise. The power of poise. Poise is power. If you want power in any situation, you have to look at how you're poised. And you can start just with your body. What is your body language in any situation? Are you slumped over? Is your head down? Are your shoulders rounded forward? Or is your spine straight? Are your shoulders back and down? Is your sternum lifted? Can you pull your navel in a little bit? Are you standing tall? Do you carry yourself with a nice long neck? When you are walking, do you walk with your head down looking at your feet, or do you walk with your eyes forward looking at where you're going? Those are all indications of your poise. And it's not a bad or good thing. I don't want you to get down on yourself if you notice yourself without poise, but just notice that you're dropping power, you're losing power, you're draining power when you're not poised. And that external poise, the poise of your body, is just a reflection of an inner poise. And that inner poise is where we can find all of our power. Now, in magical operations, poise is very important. And if you are working any kind of magical operation, you want to make sure you're poised, because that's where your power is. A nice straight spine is worth its weight in gold when it comes to power. Poise needs to be that which is a balance. And all of our balance comes from our poise. Think of a ballet dancer. You know, when a ballet dancer is looking so effortless on the stage, it's because of their internal strength. And that internal strength is what is holding up their poise. It's not just dropping everything. Like if you're speaking of dancers, a lot of times people think, wow, that man is so strong. Look how he can lift that woman. But they don't realize that the woman is doing equally as much work by keeping her poise, because if she doesn't have her center of gravity lifted, she can break his back. And it happens all the time where the ballerina loses her poise mid-lift and the male gets injured, sometimes to the point where they can't dance anymore, just because the partner wasn't poised. So it's very important at all times to recognize that our power comes from our poise. And our poise is oftentimes dictated by what we perceive our situations to be. So when somebody starts to tell you something negative about yourself or complaining to you about something, it's very common to see the energy just falling and draining, and people's spines stopping to be straight, and their shoulders moving forward, and their heads going down. And that's the indication that the power is draining from them. And so when we talk about being non-resistant is a tool of magic. And it's a tool of magic that requires a great deal of strength and poise. To be non-resistant to a situation doesn't mean that you don't deal with it. It doesn't mean that you don't respond to it, but you respond to it with poise. If somebody is coming at you with a bunch of stuff, rather than responding to it by losing your poise, which can happen in one of two ways. One way is that you allow your power to drain by feeling deflated. And the other is that you allow your power to drain by getting upset and reacting to them. You get getting upset and reacting and starting to defend yourself. Defending ourselves in those situations is usually a lack of poise. And definitely when we lose our temper, we've lost our poise. So it's always two sides of the same problem, two sides of the same coin, whether we start to just get down on ourselves or whether we puff ourselves up and we become combative. They're both the same problem. They're a lack of poise. Both of those are a drain of power. People that are looking for things like prosperity. I get a lot of questions about prosperity and money and how do I increase my prosperity. Prosperity is a direct response to your ability to stay poised. Your poise, if you have an inner poise, prosperity follows. Same with respect. If you want more people to respect you, your inner poise, and then that is reflected in your bodily poise, demands respect. A lot of times people don't respect you because you don't respect yourself. And that's very apparent because your inner poise is reflected in the way that you hold your body. And again, it's not to get down on ourselves about that when we notice that we're lacking in poise. It's to remind ourselves, oh, wait, I can fix this just easily. I can lift up my sternum a little bit. I can pull my navel in a little bit. I can bring my shoulders back and down a little bit. I can have a nice long neck. And when I do that, if I lift my sternum a little bit, then I know that I'm leading with my heart, right? And when I'm leading with my heart, then my poise is assured. And if my poise is assured, then I'm no longer feeling at the effect of whatever the situation is around me. I'm no longer responding to something with fear. I'm no longer responding to something with anger. I'm no longer responding to something by retreating. I'm not reacting to the situation in any of those ways. I'm allowing my poise to be the catalyst for the prosperity that I need in that situation. And when I say prosperity, I don't mean money necessarily, although it can include that. I'm talking about prospering in our lives. Poise and prosperity go hand in hand, and to prosper in our lives is always a divine balance. And that divine balance includes wealth. Sure, it does. Enough money to get by anyway, enough money to live comfortably. That's prosperous. And it also includes good health of both the mind and the body. It includes self-expression, free self-expression. And it includes happiness and joy, peace of mind. Our goal here in this world is peace. And if our goal here is peace, remember that peace includes everything that we want. So if our goal is peace, that will include all of those other aspects of prosperity. Peace comes with everything necessary for its attainment and for its maintenance. And the way that we find that peace is through our poise. That's why when many people are taught meditation, they're taught to sit in a particular way. If you're trying to get a meditative response and you're slouching, it's very difficult to find the response that you want because your poise is lacking. Oftentimes, if there's a problem in your life, it's really only a matter of poise that will get you back to where you want to be. The inner poise that we have, think about that. When you close your eyes and you just allow yourself to sit for a moment in present time, noticing yourself. What is your poise? What is your posture? What is your internal posture? Is it one of racing thoughts? Well, that's not very poised. So internally, you want your mind to start reflecting the body posture that you're showing it as you have that nice tall stance and that nice supported body frame. Again, you just tuck your navel in gently, lift your sternum up, relax your shoulders down, and have a nice long neck. What that's going to do for you, as long as you're able to maintain that in a way that's peaceful, is it's going to allow you to access the peace that is waiting for you. It's very difficult to access your peace without poise. It's almost impossible to access the peace without poise. But it's important to understand where peace is. Peace is at the center of your being. You are peaceful, naturally. That's who you are. You're peaceful. You are a creature of peace. And peace is something that you can't relax out of. As you are in that poised state of being, if you start relaxing your body, if you start relaxing your mind, you notice that you can melt away all kinds of things. But you can't melt away your peace because that's just sitting there waiting for you. It's sitting there at the center waiting for you, and it'll never go away. But we can really carry around a lot of things that block our awareness of our peace. That peacefulness has got to be our goal, because the reason why we want peace as our only goal is because that's who we are. And once we recognize that we are the way we are and that we don't need to add anything to it, then peace is a natural response. So anything that's not peaceful in our lives is us adding something extra to it. And you can always see that something extra that you've added onto it in your posture. Because your physical posture, your external posture is always a reflection of your internal posture. And you can reverse engineer Like we said, you can start with your body posture, and when your body posture is poised, your internal posture will always follow suit. So I am peaceful, poised, prosperous, serene. When you think about, I don't know, like a Merlin or a Vivian or even like a Morgan Le Fay or any magical person, you don't see somebody that's got their head down and their shoulders bent over, and a crooked spine. That's just kind of shuffling their feet around. You don't see that at all. You see somebody that's walking upright, not with boastful pride, but with an internal knowing, with a peace and a knowingness that they are powerful. Because, when you're powerful, your body shows it, but you don't have to broadcast it to everybody because it's apparent. You don't have to prove to anybody that you're powerful. All you have to do is allow your posture to reveal the power that you already have. And that posture, again, is just an external representation of what you're experiencing on the inside of your mind. Think about some things in your life that are not working right now. Think about some things where you don't feel so powerful. Notice when you start thinking of them, how your body wants to normally and just naturally react to that. Your body starts to naturally respond to those ideas of I'm not powerful by arranging itself. Your body starts arranging itself into a posture that reflects your lack of power or your belief in a lack of power. So in the midst of thinking of whatever that is, if you then shift your body posture to that of something that is peaceful, poised, prosperous, serene, then you can start to see the energy changing within that situation just without doing anything else whatsoever other than adjusting your posture, adjusting into that poise. Think about when you have a problem. You're confronted with a problem, like say it's a really serious problem. Usually when people are confronted with serious problems, they start to get big frowns on their forehead and wrinkles under their eyes because they're thinking really hard. How do we figure this out? How do we figure this out? They start to hunch their backs a little bit. They start maybe even writing things down on, to kind of figure it out. And if you notice how they're poised over their writing desk, they're all hunched over and tense. Now, how is that going to help you? What you need is poise. What you need is to relax the lines on your forehead. Relax the lines under your eyes. Bring your shoulders down. Lift your sternum up. Straighten your spine in a comfortable, peaceful manner. Pull the navel in slightly to keep a support in your posture. And relax the body. Relax the mind. And then infinite intelligence has right of way and can show you what to do about this problem, can bring the people in that you might need to help you with it, give you a sense of certainty, give you a sense that this problem is being solved and that the answer to your problem is at hand. But you'll never be able to get to that interaction with infinite intelligence while you're tensing up, while you're doubled over, while you're losing your posture, while you're losing your poise. A lot of times people think that when things are getting really bad in their lives, that it's almost necessary for them to knit their eyebrows, to knit their forehead, to get all tense, because it's proving to themselves that they know that this is serious. Well, if it's really that serious, then what you really want is infinite intelligence to have right of way. And the only way for that to happen is to let go of your tension, is to let go of that forehead, to let go of the neck tension, to let go of the back tension, to let go of all of that holding on. Because what you're holding on to is the problem, not the solution. But when we have peace and poise and serenity, then prosperity is inevitable. And prosperity means the solving of our problems. Prosperity, salvation, they're pretty synonymous. This week, what you can do is just allow yourself to have some awareness of how you're carrying your body, especially in situations where you feel that you're not as powerful as you'd like to be, And notice how you can just change the energy simply by changing the posture of your body and allowing peace and relaxation into the situation, into your body and into the situation. Notice how your internal poise shifts. And when your internal poise shifts, then you are in an optimal posture to respond to the situation as infinite intelligence directs you. Whereas if you're in that tense posture, the only response to that situation is what you decide, not being guided, not being led, not having wisdom. I think it was Dr. Murphy that said it is the quiet mind that gets things done. So the quiet mind is a poised mind. A quiet mind is a mind that's not distracted, that's not racing, that's not undisciplined, and that's not wandering. And a lot of times we try to force our minds to quiet, and that's not a peaceful, poised way of handling our minds. The way of handling our minds when they're racing is to, first of all, find a posture in our body that is poised and peaceful. And then we can find a posture in our minds where we can focus and gently bring our minds back to a solution again and again and again. Things like a mantra, something as simple as that magic minute where we keep that phrase, blessed be, something that we come back to again and again and again. That does more for solving a problem than racing around trying to figure things out. When you are in a place of peace and poise, then situations start to almost spontaneously correct themselves. And if they don't, you will at least know where to go and how to respond to it. The only way that you can get the ear of infinite intelligence is by calming your mind, by calming your body, by finding poise. And once you have that poise, then you and infinite intelligence have a common ground. But infinite intelligence doesn't exist within a bunch of tension, within a bunch of noise, within a bunch of racing thoughts. So it's through poise that we are able to open that communication link with infinite intelligence, and we can actually get something done. We can get something accomplished. It's not something that you wait for until you have a bunch of stuff figured out. Then I'll figure out my poise. You want to start with poise. You want to start with what's easy. And what's easy is anybody can straighten their spine to some degree or another, depending on if you have physical disability. Again, this is not comparing you against other people. This is comparing you against yourself. Finding that poise in your body to the best of your ability so that your mind can follow suit. Now, your body has to obey you when it's time for things like posture and relaxation. Your body doesn't have a mind of its own. Your body is a servant of your spirit. So in a way, it seems like the body has a mind of its own because it keeps its own heart beating, it keeps its own systems running, but that's because of the power of your deep mind. Once your deep mind is withdrawn from that body, your body dies, right? The body can't live on after you're gone out of it. But your conscious mind has a lot of control over your body in so far as how it can relax, how it can hold itself. Your posture is completely under your control, even if you don't think that that's true. It may not feel like it's true because you have a habit of constantly being tense, of constantly grinding your teeth, of constantly furrowing your brow, of constantly walking around with your head down and your shoulders drooped. So it may take some time for you to get into the new habit of reminding yourself, I'm poised. Poise is my power. Poise is my power. You can just tell yourself that any moment of time and point of space where you don't feel powerful. Poise is my power, and poise is always under my control. No matter what is going on around you, no matter what people are doing, no matter what people are saying, no matter what happens to be going on about you, you have 100% charge over your poise. And even if you are disabled and you cannot make your body do anything that you want it to, maybe you are, either disabled or highly injured, you can still have 100% control over your mental poise and how you respond to something. So when we are peaceful And when we are poised, then we are in a posture of connection to infinite intelligence, and then we can have the aid and the assistance that we need. If we are not peaceful and we are not poised, we haven't done our part. We haven't picked up the phone. So we don't have that communication. It's not that infinite intelligence isn't there. It's not that infinite intelligence doesn't want to help. It's not that infinite intelligence isn't waiting for our call, but we have to do our part. And our part is finding that poise and that peace. And the more we can find that poise and the more that we can find that peace, the cleaner that communication line is, and the quicker we can resolve whatever it is at hand. So remind yourself a lot this week while you're going about your day. Poise is my power. Poise is my power. Thank you so much for spending a little time with me today. I so appreciate it. Until next time, blessed be.